What connects French architect Paul Gourdet with the historical center of Almaty? Why is the Jarkent Mosque the single surviving work of Chinese architect Han Pike? Where is Valikhanov's manor house Sirimbiet located? Forgotten names and little-known facts, recent history and national color, all this is in the Grand Buildings program. Today in our program, from classics to avant-garde, from teacher of an architectural high school to laureate of state prize. And years of painful search are between these periods. Fame came to Sagandik Jambulatov already in his mature years. Now his masterpieces justly decorate the main avenues of the capital of Kazakhstan. The right bank of Yesil River. Until recently, it is unremarkable. At this place, once there was an abandoned borough. Cottage areas were crowded around it. However, everything changed with the transfer of the capital of Kazakhstan. The borders of Astana began to expand. Young and flourishing, the city demanded more and more land, and soon another promising district appeared at this place, which, like a magnet, now attracts tourists.
Astana is a very modern city, and the buildings here are very luxury and beautiful. I visited some places like the pyramids and I really liked it. It's most like Western style architecture in here and I really like it.
One of the favorite places of Ali Silvani in the capital of Kazakhstan is Hazret Sultan Mosque. He comes here to be alone with his thoughts, and every time he is amazed by the brilliant work of the architect. Here, everything is figured out down to the last detail, both outside and inside. Hazret Sultan Mosque is the largest in Central Asia. It occupies an area of 11 hectares. It is designed for 5,000 people. The area of the building is almost 18,000 square meters. The height of the main dome is 51 meters, diameter is 28 meters. The height of each of the 4 minarets is 77 meters.
Yes, it's really beautiful. We have like a lot of mosques in Iran, but I can say this architecture is also very outstanding and beautiful. It actually reminds me of my childhood because I have been growing up in a country that there have been many mosques, and when I see such an architecture, it just takes me back to my memories from my life, and it makes me feel happy.
The history of this cathedral mosque began in 2009. The President of the Republic of Kazakhstan personally laid a memorable capsule in its construction. Nursultan Nazarbayev got acquainted with the layout of future religious building. The name Hazret Sultan was also the idea of the head of state. A big international competition was held where Americans, Malaysians, and in general all architects of the world had participated. 54 projects were presented. Our company, Sanar Project Company, took first place among 54 projects. Construction began in 2010. It was led by Sagandik Jambulatov. He was a former teacher of an architectural university. In the 90s, he tried to start his own business in the retail sphere, but desire for creativity eventually proved to be stronger. Soon the works of Sagandik Jambulatov already participated in various competitions. By the time the architect proposed his project of the Hazret Sultan Mosque, there were already several houses of worship in his portfolio erected in different parts of Kazakhstan.
Мы, как независимое государство, мы решили, что вот эта мечеть должна быть образцом именно казахской архитектуры.
As an independent state, we decided that this mosque should be a model of Kazakh architecture and religious construction. For this, a large analysis was carried out, and we did almost scientific research and accepted the following. The mosque must be all white. The sample is Taj Mahal. If you take the blue domes of Uzbekistan, then we decided to be different. We made a white dome. Now, if you look at this mosque from afar, many people see the mosque whiter than white from far away. As you approach the mosque, if you will look closely, all visitors notice an interesting effect. If you come closer to the mosque, it becomes lighter. Colors and ornaments appear. Being close to the main portal, we see that it is multicolored, but the color is of pastel tones. The tones are very soft.
Приблизь к расстоянию главного портала, мы видим, что она многоцветная, но цвет пастельных тонов, очень мягких тонов.
In total, the mosque construction lasted about 3 years. It was erected by 1,500 people. The works did not stop either in winter or in summer. The creative group always studied, experimented, and ordered new materials. They did everything to ensure that the mosque was not only functional, but also comfortable for visitors.
Обычные дни в пятницу приходят люди молиться, но бывают священные дни, Рамазан.
On ordinary days, on Friday, people come to pray, but there are holy days, Ramadan. In this period, there is a huge number of people who do not fit in the mosque. Moreover, that is why we made a huge space ahead so that people can be on the street in summer. They can be located on site where the parking is. However, what about winter? For this, the mosque was transformed. After all, it must be large and at the same time small. At Eastern mosques, there is a large space in front of the mosque, an abstract one, like in Nur Astana. It is open, people can gather and come. We have made this space closed, and such an unusual mosque has turned out. It has a large lobby almost equivalent to the main hall, and so now more than 10,000 people can pray here at the same time.
И поэтому сейчас здесь можно молиться одновременно больше 10 тысяч человек.
Designer Yesingali Akhmetov joined already at the final stage. He immediately refused the stretched ceilings proposed by his predecessor. Instead of it, the interior of the domes was decorated with molding and braid gold.
У нас задача была серьезная, потому что она действительно в Астане.
Well, our task was serious because it is a really significant project in Astana, and the task was also set as the number one. Indeed, we did not have such a large mosque. Well, we put everything. If you look, we used interior in our national style, even some kind of palace character. I think so. We have ancestors since ancient times in general connected with architecture. For example, yurts were decorated this way, as well as tuskis. Well, we tried to apply new materials, even ornaments, in a new way. For example, if you look at colors, you can see them more monochrome, soothing.
Цвета, если вы смотрите, здесь более монохромный, такой успокаивающий.
In conjunction with Yesingali Akhmetov, about 250 well-known interior artists from all over the country had worked at that moment.
Осы мешітіміздегі ою-өрнектер 80% қазақы ою-өрнектермен нақышталған.
The mosque is 80% decorated in traditional Kazakh style. Recently, it was included in the number of the most beautiful religious buildings in the world. There are 3 floors inside the mosque. The main halls are concentrated on the second floor. There is a separate hall for women. On the first floor, there is a dining room for 500 people. On the third floor, there are rooms for imams and lecture rooms for seminars. There is also a hall for marriage, Nikeh Q.
Сонымен қатар неке қиятын неке залымыз екінші жақ бетінде семинар, конференция өтетін арнайы үлкен зал бар.
A representative of a mosque pays attention to the fact that the author of the project, Sagindik Jambulatov, has carefully studied the issues of the believers' safety. Even at the construction stage, there was a large fire at the site. According to experts, it arose because of welding works inside the premises. Then one of the builders died. To prevent such tragedies from happening again, the architect provided emergency exits in case of fire. There were questions regarding the people's evacuation in case of a fire. What should people do in the location? If you notice a large staircase on the second floor, people can go out from there. Even here at the entrance, we made several doors, you know. That is, in case of fire, you can open everything. People can easily get out. Now in the mosque, it is impossible to name even approximately the exact number of people who come here daily. They come not only to pray, they crave spiritual food. Moreover, here's another task that the president has put forward, which has already been implemented. The central mosque of the capital is not only an architectural landmark, it has become a real cultural and educational center, with its own TV studio and internet portal.
Жалпы 3-ші қабатта имамдардың бөлмесі, арнайы сабақ өтетін бөлмелер, аудиториялар бар. Сонымен қатар өзіміздің төл.
There is a room for imams on the 3rd floor where they conduct classes. There is a website and Hikmet television studio. What is all of this for? We followed the order of the head of state who said that Hazrat Sultan Mosque should become a major spiritual, cultural, and educational center. Based on these words, we opened our site and studio. We are striving for spiritual development of the nation.
Жалпы Хикмет студиясын аштық. Сонымен қатар Муслим кезет сайтын аштық. Бұлардың барлығы жалпы халықтың руханиятына, халықтың оқу ағарту біліміне үлкен үлесін қосады деген ниетпен аштық. Құдайға шүкір.
John Kerry, Sheikh Hamad bin Isa Al Khalif, Sauli Ninesti, Recep Tayyip Erdogan. More than 170 official delegations from around the world and about 140 more from the regions of Kazakhstan visited the Hazrat Sultan Mosque. Moreover, everyone tries to leave his delighted response in the visitor's book. Isn't it a recognition for the architect? However, Sagindik Jambulatov does not repose on his laurels. An avant-garde mosque is just about to open its doors this time. It is so unlike the religious structures in the Republic that few people have guessed the true purpose of the object under construction.
Особенность данной мечети это сделано современным
The peculiarity of this mosque is that it is made in modern futuristic style. It is the style of the future. It is a centric composition where the building of the mosque has a centric shape, consisting of triangular faces. The building itself is a dome right from the ground, and the dome is like a wall. The construction of such a mosque does not violate the canons of religion, Sagindik Jambulatov notes. According to his version, such objects already exist in France, Malaysia, and even in Germany. However, Kazakh architect went even further. He decided to decorate the outer facade with originally Kazakh elements. Here's an example of why I'm going to avant-garde. Let's take modern machines. They are all streamlined. Planes are streamlined. The person sits there, he gets in the car, everything is comfortable. The seat, everything is convenient. The same thing is about the building. It should be comfortable. I need to breathe. For example, here I want to see the dome, or maybe somewhere in the corner there is lighting, etc. Avant-garde architecture suggests finding new psychological moments to look at the world in a new way. I'm sure if I design an avant-garde house for you, it will be strange to you at first. But if I study your psychology, etc., your conceptual construct to the world, etc., and you say, I want it in this way, it will be more convenient. Moreover, I believe that in the future world, the architecture will be individual. Each person can project what he wants.
Сколько я его знаю, все время поражаюсь его энергичности, неиссякаемости.
As far as I know, I am amazed at his energy, inexhaustible fantasy, many ideas. I understand that he has lots of ideas, and at some point, he pulls out the necessary ideas and tries to implement them in certain periods. And the ideas are in step with the times, and Sagindik Smailovich is looking even proactively. This is an advantage in our field.
Много со временем, что ли, на опережение немножко всегда смотрит. И как бы это преимущество в нашей сфере.
Colleagues are surprised by excitement with which the architect Jambulatov undertakes projects. He can go to work with his head. All the time he calculates something, compares, or maybe just picks up and goes to archaeological excavations. Because I'm convinced there can be no future without history. During the Soviet period, I studied historical heritage. I have a huge library at home, I studied it, etc. When I do something from this ancient architecture, I'm based on this baggage. But I'm not helping. Now I'm doing modern architecture and what the future lies in. The future belongs to futuristic architecture.
Будущее за футуристической архитектурой.
Brave use of unusual forms in the architect's work sometimes seem fantastic. That is how the Museum of Archaeology and Ethnography might look. Sagandik Jambulatov saw the Museum of the History of Kazakhstan this way. Looking at this project, you will not immediately understand that this is Kazakh drama theater. There were no such theatrical stages in our country for sure. As there was no triumphal arch, which the architect created for the 20th anniversary of the independence of the Republic. Sagandik Jambulatov sent two variants to the competition. The first was made in classical style, the second in national style. The classic won. The project was recognized as the best and they immediately proceeded with construction.
Триумфальная арка, значит, сделана в классическом стиле. Классика, но
The triumphal arch is made in classical style. It is classic, but Kazakh. Eastern classics suggest to make this arch ogival, European semicircular. If you look closely at this upper part, it is neither European nor Eastern. We, architects, think that this is Kazakh average view of the arch.
казахская вот такой средний вид арки.
The triumphal gates are in Moscow, KURSK, St. Petersburg, Brandenburg in Berlin. The arches are in Paris, Barcelona, and Brooklyn. There are many examples of history when arches were erected in order to exalt a particular commander or to perpetuate this or that event. Decades passed for their construction, as it was, for example, in Paris. The construction of the triumphal arch begun by order of Napoleon, they had erected it for exactly 30 years. It was built in 3 months in Astana. It rises at the entrance to the city, in the middle of the road leading to the airport. Therefore, it is the first object that the capital's guests see.
Арка – это олицетворение независимости.
Arch is the personification of independence. Why? The group decided that it would be called Mangilik Yel. Mangilik is an eternity, Yel is a country, a land. Therefore, the name is very meaningful. It reflects the people's aspiration. We have put Tai Kazan from the right and left side. Large cooking pot is an old Turkic symbol. Of course, a large cooking pot is food acceptance. At the same time, when the Turks went on a campaign, they threw arrows into a large cooking pot, fused and showed how powerful they were. And this is why we put Tai Kazan an analog to what is in Turkestan. When we put it, there was a very interesting coincidence again. It turned out that the diameter of Tai Kazan is the same. It directly falls into the arc. Although we thought we would reduce it and so on, but it turned out that Tai Kazan was right at that point, both on the right and on the left. Here, Kazakh traditional ornaments are used. Above the arc, we put our sun and signs from the flag of Kazakhstan.
Справа и с левой стороны Tai Kazan попал в эту точку.
By the way, historians argue that the arches were not alien to the ancient culture of nomads, but then they had a different sacred meaning. It was believed that passing through such a gate, a person seems to be purified or reborn. Later, the arches appeared in a different context. They began to erect in honor of triumphers celebrating the victory in military battles. Sagandik Jambulatov's arch has absolutely peaceful purposes. It also symbolizes triumph, but it is a triumph of the young republic for the first years of its formation and development.
Если в древности их создавали себя возвеличить, ну, оставить след в истории, показать, какие достижения есть.
If at ancient times they were created to be exalted, to leave a trace in history, to show what achievements there were, then probably now it is carrying such a semantic load in order to make generations who do not know those events pause to think. Someone will read about it, someone will open the appropriate site, someone will reflect on the meaning of life. What he did in this life, someone will compare himself with that ruler, with that batir on our ark. We'll think about his mother. We'll remember his grandfather, Aksakal. Moreover, of course, it is educational issues. Firstly, it is a memory of ourselves, a memory of the people, of some rulers, of our president. Then they think how to educate their children and what to tell them. Here you go to the airport. When you leave the city, this arc sees you off, and when you come back, well, you're happy. There are the steppe, the earth, and the ark, and you are already concentrating on one thought. You are on your own land.
Как бы тебя провожает эта арка. И когда возвращаешься, ну, радуешься, степь, земля своя и арка, и уже как сосредоточишься на одной мысли. Ты у себя на своей земле.
By the way, you can admire the ark not only from the outside, but also from the inside. According to the architect's idea, anyone can do it. In order to enter, it is enough to descend the underground passage. Professional guides meet all the visitors. This summer, during the International Exhibition Expo 2017, hundreds of excursions were conducted here. In total, about 40,000 people visited the Triumph Arc. Excursions were conducted without intervals. Our arc has a height of 20 meters, a width of 18 meters, and it is built on the principle of the golden section for 3 months and 3 days. Moreover, the principle of golden section indicates that a person being under the arc does not feel discomfort. The massiveness of this building does not put pressure on person, and under the arc we see here such figures, niches, and for example, when people enter from the airport, there's the figure of Aksakal Murat Mansurov in each of the niches. These are Aksakal's figure and the figure of a woman mother. Aksakal's figure says about male and female, yin and yang, and that we have roots. Our ancestors give bata, that when we enter the city we are given bata. Father welcomes us with his blessing, and the woman mother welcomes in the form of a mother. Moreover, here we see the shape of Shanrak. It means that you are welcome to our hospitable country. That is, we receive such a blessing entering here. After the excursion, visitors are invited to the viewing point. Hence, the whole city spreads out before you. You see beautiful buildings, new residential complexes. The author of this triumphal project had his hand in some of them. Well, we're on a triumphal arc on a viewing point which has a height of 21.5 meters. Moreover, this place is sacred because it is located at the intersection of 4 sides of the world. When people leave, they stop, come here to the viewing point, and they will have a good road. You will ask why? Because they will be protected by those batirs who bless them. Coming to the city, they receive a blessing. Again, you can meditate here and you will succeed. Projects, sketches, new creative searches. The laureate of the state prize, Sagundik Jambulatov, is working on several ideas right now. His son, Chingiz, helped him to create the first ideas. Chingiz is a lawyer by education. He headed his father's company when he decided to try his hand at civil service. Until recently, Sagundik Jambulatov was the chief designer of the management of architecture and town planning. Well, of course, first I look at these objects from a professional point of view, and of course, first I feel satisfaction with the huge work that was done by a team of professionals headed by my father. Moreover, it is always very pleasant to visit these objects and see the results of labor.
Естественно, всегда очень приятно посещать объекты и видеть результат труда.
The granddaughters of the architect are dreaming of such a teacher. Sagundik Jambulatov has high hopes for one of them, Tazmin. In her free time, the girl attends a school of design, and who knows, maybe she will continue the work of her famous grandfather.
I always wanted to be an artist or something, or to do something that's related to art, and like drawing pictures for books or sewing clothes, because I really enjoy making art.
If they are architects or not, but creativity is the future, the perspective of all of mankind. Because when a person thinks, when a person creates something new, let it be a design, he makes a discovery in architecture. First, a person, my child or grandson, makes a discovery for himself, and then others admire this discovery. I would like the creative potential of my children, grandchildren to be high, so that they not only deal with architecture, maybe they would be engaged in IT technologies, nanotechnology, the most modern that is in this world. I believe that only creative people can raise and develop Kazakhstan.
Творческие люди могут поднять, развить